As a director of the DTZ residential valuation team based in London, I'm very focused on the market movements across both the London and regional markets. And today we're going to discuss the state of the residential market and look at some of the perceived risks affecting our sector today. I'm joined by Candice Matthews, Director of DTZ's Land and New Homes Agency team, who has real-time access to the deals that are being done in London today. The market intelligence is invaluable to us and our clients and runs through our core service lines of land and development, new homes and investment. You only have to open a newspaper to find daily commentary on the housing market. Today, the focus of the press is very much on the unsustainable house price growth. But is this really the case? In order to answer this question, it is important to understand that there is a vast difference between the London submarkets and the regional housing market. It is true to state that all regions nationally have now experienced house price growth, but to say that this is unsustainable is certainly not true. Negative equity is still a reality for many regional cities where prices have yet to recover the pre-crash levels. Data from the Land Registry indicates annual house price growth ranging from 1% in the North East to 18% in London, with the average house price being £172,000 today compared to £181,000 at the peak in 2007. To me, this does not paint a picture of an overheating market. However, the national picture does mask the heat that is clearly visible in the London market, with annual house prices at a whopping 18%. These house prices are fuelled by an acute shortage in supply, high demand both internationally and domestic. Let me hand over to Candice, who can provide some specifics on the London market and experiences of recent sales launches.
Thanks, Jonathan. As Jonathan's alluded to, the performance of the London residential market over the past year has been phenomenal. We've been experiencing a perfect storm of circumstances with low interest rates, shortage of supply, the extension to Help to Buy, with the result that a market which in 2011, 2012 was dominated primarily by overseas investors, specifically in the new build sector, is now equally buoyant with domestic buyers, from first-time buyers, many assisted through Help to Buy, through to traditional buy-to-let investors. Market activity and launch results in the first half of the year have very much reflected this. An example from our personal experience here at DTZ, in March we launched the first phase of a scheme in Dalston. With only very basic site signage and a handful of teaser ads, we received over 1,000 inquiries for the project, and on the first day of launch reserved 38 of the 49 units, with the first 20 sales occurring in the first 20 minutes. And we're literally having to hand out numbers to people in the queue. And this is a scheme which doesn't complete until 2016. Now, these are the sort of circumstances that we've seen replicated for good quality schemes across London, with launch weekends increasingly emulating the format that we've seen previously in overseas exhibitions, with full-scale exhibition materials, the events held in five-star hotels, and lawyers' presence to exchange contracts wherever possible. The result has been that developers have been choosing to launch their projects in the UK first, not just because of any obligations they've made to the mayor, but because they think that they're going to get the best results for their projects. And I think this is particularly true given the slight softening that we've seen in the overseas markets, brought about from a variety of circumstances, including slight strengthening of the pound, the imminent introduction of capital gains tax for foreign buyers, and the new lending restrictions which came in to Singapore last year. As for the second half of the year, well, in the past couple of months, I would say that we've seen a very slight cool-off in activity as buyers have taken a step back to reflect on recent press speculation about mortgage rate increases, the new rules that have come in under the mortgage market review, the price growth that's taken place over recent months, and the effect that that's had on investor yields. I don't personally see this as a fundamental repricing exercise, but more a natural reaction to the growth that we've seen.
And from our discussions with estate agents, banks and purchasers in prime central London, there is a sense that the market is taking a breather, giving itself time to catch up. It is fair to say that it is taking longer to sell houses and flats at the upper end of the market, where values are, say, 10 to 20 million. And at above 2 million, there are still uncertainties surrounding mansion tax, capital gains tax and other future government legislation. The Bank of England continues to monitor the rate of house price growth, and the availability of mortgages, multiples of income and affordability tests will become more stringent. However, this is in contradiction to the government's Help to Buy initiatives, which have been extended to 2020. The underlying drivers for purchasers investing in the UK remain the same and as important as they ever have been, particularly with political unrest between Russia and Ukraine and again in the Middle East. London remains a safe haven with political and financial stability. It is a world-class cosmopolitan city in the right time zone and with a state-of-the-art education system.